crowned in MAC Gymnastics today as DeKalb, Illinois' location for the 2019 MAC Gymnastics Championships on ESPN. Welcome inside the Convocation Center as 7 teams put their best on display to try to prove they are the best in the MAC. Hello everyone, alongside former Arizona State gymnast Ashley Feuerbach, I'm Andy Garcia. We are pumped and excited to see who's going to rise up, who's going to step up and say they are champs at the end of the day.
Absolutely. This competition today is one of the most exciting competitions for most of these teams. This will be one of their final competitions aside from Central Michigan and possibly Kent State. So we're really looking forward to seeing them perform today.
Central Michigan, really the team to beat. They were the regular season champs. They won the MAC championships last year. They're trying to go back to back.
Absolutely. Central Michigan is definitely the team to watch today. They're one of the teams who are potentially going into NCAA regional action. And it wasn't until the midway through the season where they really found their groove this year. So today they're looking to try to be the MAC champs this season in addition to last season.
Yeah, should be a good one. Central Michigan finished the regular season trying to go back to back here in the MAC. Gymnasts to watch. We'll start with Central Michigan and Danelle Petrick. She's elite. We're going to talk a lot about her today.
Absolutely. The junior is out of Canada. Danelle is a key part to Central Michigan's success. She has a unique style and brings a level of difficulty which goes unmatched in the MAC, particularly on vault where she performs a Yurchenko double full, the only one we'll see in competition today. Also from Bowling Green, Giovanna East. Coming off of a season-high all-around performance of 39.375 last weekend, Giovanna is seeking to capture the individual all-around title today. Last year in the MAC Championship, she came up just shy of this feat, where she came in second place by just a half of a tenth. Another gymnast to keep an eye on is Anna Martucci from Northern Illinois. This season alone, Anna earned MAC Specialist of the Week on 3 separate occasions and reigns as the 2018 Specialist of the Year, all due to her dynamic floor performances. In her final competition in the Convocation Center, Anna is on the hunt to win the MAC title on the floor exercise.
Teams have been introduced. We're all set to go. We'll have 7 rotations, 4 teams each on one event. We're going to have 3 buys as we take a look at the MAC standings coming into the MAC Championship today. You saw Central Michigan. They were the regular season MAC champs, undefeated. NIU right behind them. Eastern Michigan, Ball State after them. But again, it's one day, it's one score. Everything is on the line today.
Absolutely. The teams are all pretty much even, I would say. I mean, the stats don't really show that, but they're pretty much on an even playing field here, and it's exciting to see what the outcome's going to be because it can be anybody's competition.
So that's the team competition.
Yeah.
Then we have the all-around competition, which we're going to look at, and you're going to see the all-around standings also. Again, what actually feel like maybe 5 or 6 gymnasts have an attempt here, have a chance at the all-around.
Absolutely, and it's all a matter of just doing their job and what they do in practice day in, day out, every day. They have the experience and everything, so they can definitely step it up. But here's the national team rankings. Is it pretty cool to look at when you see Central Michigan at the top there. They certainly lead the MAC as the national rankings go, for sure.
And you know, Central Michigan, they will go on to the NCAA regionals. There's an opportunity to the Kent State could be there as well.
Yeah, that's going to be something that we want to keep an eye on today. Kent State, they have a lot on the line. If they can get a 195-125 today as a team, that will be enough to solidify their chance into NCAA regionals. So it's all about what's going to happen today for Kent State.
Here are the individual all-around gymnasts that we'll look at. You see Danelle Petrick at the top of that list, but we're going to see some really good gymnasts trying to vie for that all-around gymnast competition.
Yeah, they're really impressive girls, and they are all-around gymnasts because they're very consistent. The teams really rely on them for their score week in, week out. It's very rare for them to be pulled from a competition, so they rely a lot on these girls, and it's going to be fun to see them compete today.
So an exciting day of MAC gymnastics. You've had the tri-meets, you've had the quads, right? You've gone through all non-conference, and it all comes down to this here at the Convocation Center here in DeKalb, Illinois, the MAC Gymnastic Championships. Right before the first event You've been there. What's the motions? What's the feeling like before you get ready?
Yeah, it's really, a lot of adrenaline, trying to control and maintain the adrenaline and get a handle on that. And they've had all season long to really work on controlling the adrenaline factor. But there's just a whole new level here with competition. And with the girls, the teams have to be corralled back away from what they're used to. Normally they get to hang around the gymnast before the gymnast goes. And the team is pulled away. So there's a different dynamic that affects their nerves. And if you can control the nerves, that can really narrow down the outcome of the result you're going to go.
Another thing that these teams are not used to are buys. We're going to have Kent State, Bowling Green, and NIU. They have buys. They're not going to be competing in this first rotation. You don't see that in the regular season.
Right. And it is something that they do only get a chance one time a year to practice going through buys, and then that's during their conference championship. So, controlling buys as far as how you handle that, you just keep the girls moving. You try not to let them sit down and get cold. There's a loss of momentum once you go from one event into a buy. And so how do the coaches have to be creative in making sure that they keep those girls moving, they keep them excited and engaged so that forward momentum continues on into the next event.
And you'll think it'd be a little bit of nerves as Central Michigan, who will start on the vault. In that 7th and final rotation, they have a bye. So they'll watch everybody else kind of compete and see who's there. It'd be very interesting to see. Again, that's down the line as we get ready for our first rotation. Central Michigan will be on the vault. Eastern Michigan will be on the bars. Western Michigan will be on the beam. And Ball State will be on the floor. And we promise we'll try to give you as much of the action as we can. 4 events going on at one time. And that's what part of it is exciting, because what they didn't do this year, too, Ashley, is they didn't have a lot of practice time on these apparatuses. They came in here this morning. They did not get here practice time in the Convocation Center here yesterday.
Yeah, and it is a little bit different when you're comparing it from a basketball court to another basketball court versus the gymnastics equipment. There's a lot that goes into your visually. The apparatus is different, and each specific apparatus is different. So from a set of bars that you might be competing on today versus a set of bars that you competed on last weekend, they can be completely different types of manufacturers, and so the girls are used to that. They've been doing that ever since they were 5 competing. So it's all about just knowing and relying on your practicing and your technique in the gym day in, day out, and which team can handle the nerves the most.
Enough talk, enough practice. Let's get to it. The MAC Gymnastics is underway. And again, we'll start by looking at the beam. And Morgan Spence of Western Michigan. Spence, a sophomore from Raleigh, North Carolina. She's going to be on the beam as you take a look at Morgan Spence, one of those North Carolina gymnasts. They have a nice little pipeline, Western Michigan down to North Carolina, as Morgan Spence is on the beam.
And here she begins with a unique mount onto the beam. And talk about trying to control those nerves, being first up in the meet on balance beam. That's a lot to handle, and she's put in the first position for a reason. A little wobble, nice recovery on her back handspring layout step out. And then those split jumps, you're going to see a lot of the girls, there's a requirement of having a 180-degree split jumps in your balance beam routines, and it's all about getting and reaching and maximizing that 180 degrees. And you saw with Morgan's 2 jumps that she just did there, they were just a little shy, so the judges can deduct on that. And it can vary in range depending on how small that they were. Just a slight hop on her dismount, and overall a great start for Western Michigan on beam.
Morgan Spence starting it out for Western Michigan on the beam, the first rotation here in the MAC Gymnastics Championships. We're going to move over to, again, other apparatuses, other events, try to give you as much coverage as we can. As you see Morgan Spence be congratulated by her teammates. And again, that sigh of relief, that first one is over.
Absolutely, and that's not the first event that you're going to see Morgan compete on, and I know she's probably really relieved just to have that done with for the day and she can move on to bigger and better things.
Here's Morgan Tong, the freshman from Markham, Ontario. Tong is second on the vault for the Chippewas. And again, those just seconds before you compete in your first event.
Yeah, you've got a lot of adrenaline pumping through your veins right now, and your teammates are off to the side. They aren't around you at the end of the runway, so it's just you and your vault all alone, and that could be really nervy, but she's in the starting position for a reason, and it's exciting to see her get ready to go. Controlling those nerves. If you're going to have adrenaline, vaults weren't going to be one of the events to have the adrenaline on, to use it to your advantage. Nice. Laid out Yurchenko full. She had a slight hop on the landing. The judges could take between 1 to 2 tenths on that deduction. But overall, not a bad performance there.
So that was Morgan Tong of Central Michigan. Now onto the floor where Ball State is competing in this first rotation. And you see Marissa Nychik, the freshman from Fort Myers, Florida.
Yeah, and Ball State, they have really stepped up their game throughout the season so far this year, and I think they've had a little bit of a slower start to the beginning, but they really have started to pick it up, and they're definitely one of the teams to keep your eye on today for the MAC title.
And you and me talked about this. I mean, again, it's one day, right? You kind of throw out what you've done so far, and it kind of just the preludes into what you're doing here today. This is where you want to be your best. Marissa has a chance here on the floor.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be all about minimizing the deductions, minimizing the errors. Here she goes for her opening pass. Her handspring double full to the front tuck, and she just went out of bounds. So there's a 1/10 automatic deduction of going out of the white line on the floor. And that is in addition to the additional steps that she did take on her pass. So there's going to be a heavy deduction here on her first pass, but hopefully she can clean up the rest of the routine. Second pass, double tuck. You can see a lot of difficulty in her routine so far. We've talked about minimizing deductions. It's all going to be about who can have the fewest deductions throughout each and every routine. Taking a little breather before her third pass. Front handspring, 1.5. We also call it a front Rudy. Nice controlled landing. And a good finish overall for Ball State.
Marissa Nychik, the freshman from Fort Myers, finishing up on her floor routine. As we move over to the uneven parallel bars, Eastern Michigan will be there on this first rotation. And Carly Clark, the senior, White Lake, Michigan.
Here she's mounting up to the high bar. And on bars, you're going to be looking for those handstands, really controlling those handstands, getting all the way up to vertical. Nice release on the high bar and transitioning to the low bar. Another overshoot, a little slightly short of the handstand there. A little bit better of the handstand, but still shy. The judges will probably take a 1/2 tenth on that handstand. And a nice double layout, just small step on the landing.
That was Carly Clark for Eastern Michigan on the bars as we move over to Danelle Petrick. She'll be the anchor for Central Michigan on the vault.
And we talked about this earlier on. Danelle does a vault that is the most difficult vault that you will see in college gymnastics across the country. She performs a Yurchenko double full. Beautiful landing. I don't think that she could have done that any better, and you can't really ask for a better vault from her, so I know they're excited about that.
You see that smile on her face when she finished that. That was really nice. Donnell Patrick starting off the MAC championships strong.
Yeah, that was really a great vault.
Back to Eastern Michigan. And that is Emily DeBonix getting ready for the bars. Emily
and Emily is going to be one of those girls who is vying for an all-around title here tonight. She's a fantastic gymnast. She's been extremely consistent and reliable for Eastern Michigan all season long, and she competed last year going into regionals and qualified to nationals for her team as well. So certainly a beautiful gymnast to watch, as you'll see here.
She has some fans in the stands from Orland Park, Illinois. DeBronix.
Nice little hop handstand. Huge Tkachev. A little shy on her handstand there, but beautiful overshoot to handstand. Those are the kinds of handstands we want to see today. Another short handstand there, so that those tenths do add up. Into her double layout dismount, just a small hop. And you could see the reason she hopped, she had her hips closed into the air, and it just caused her rotation to continue to move forward on the landing. But overall, it was a good routine for Emily.
Emily DeBronix, the junior. Again, we'll see her in the all-around. She just finished off on the bars in the first rotation for Eastern Michigan. Again, we have 7 rotations right now. 3 teams, as I say, just sitting out right now, as we have 4 different teams. Here's a dismount replay.
Yeah, you could see on that dismount, that was a different double layout dismount. Eastern has a lot of difficulty throughout their bar routines when it comes to their dismount, so it's nice to see that.
Back to the beam, Western Michigan. Rachel Binkley, the senior from Phoenix, Arizona.
There's a split jump to straddle 3/4, still a slight wobble there. And on both of those split jumps, she just wasn't quite all the way to 180 degrees, so she probably got a deduction about a half a tenth on both of the jumps, and including the wobble on the landing. So we really do want to start to eliminate those little bobbles here and there. Oh, that's too bad. On our back handspring layout series, it's a requirement to have a flight series such as that. It's a common one that you'll see, and it didn't look off too much from our angle. Unfortunately, that's just the way it goes with the 4 inches that you're on beam.
And it's the same scoring as you'll see in the regular season, where you have 6 compete.
Absolutely. And we're going to hop over to bars here. Here's Jada Rondeau. She's finishing up her bar routine here. Going into her dismount. Beautiful double layout. Just a slight hop, but fantastic finish there.
Again, moving event to event. We're going to try to get you as much as we can. Jada Rondeau finishing up the sophomore as the Eagles compete on the bars. This is the first rotation.
There's that dismount. Just that slight hop. Not bad for Jada. And she's another all-arounder that we'll be seeing a lot of today. But like you were saying, back when we were talking about beam and how there are six athletes that compete on each event, but they only take the top 5 scores. So we can have mistakes, but we want to minimize those mistakes.
Here's Claudia Goico, the sophomore from Buford, Georgia.
Nice creative choreography there. Huge round off to immediate double pike. Typically you see a back handspring out of the round off, and she eliminates that completely, which is really unique. It's nice to see different. And her choreography is just really getting the crowd into it. She's having fun. Great routine.
Ball State on the floor. Claudia Goico just finishing up. The sophomore very happy Loved what she did there. Back to Eastern Michigan on the bars. And Courtney Beazold, all MAC from Ypsilanti.
Yes, she's got a beautiful bar routine. She's the reason why she anchors for Eastern on bars. She's just, you can see how powerful she swings. Huge ginger. Just a little low on the catch to her release on the transition there, but beautiful handstand to transition. She's fighting her way through the routine. Huge dismount. And that unfortunately, that's just not one of the routines that they would typically count from her. So unfortunately, I don't think they'll be able to count that score for Eastern Michigan, but beautiful, beautiful gymnast to watch.
She was #1 in the MAC rankings in the bars. Just take a look at the replay.
Yeah, here she is. She's going into her dismount. Huge, full twisting double layout, which is extremely hard to do. Extremely hard to do at the end of your routine when you're tired.
Over to the beam. Amelia Moeller.
Here's that split jump to a straddle 3/4. Beautiful 180 degrees on her straddle 3/4. Preparing for her flight series. She's all the way at the end of the beam, which gives me the idea she might have a triple flight series here. She goes double back handspring to layout, step out. Nice finish there. Extremely difficult to do. It's we do see triple flight series throughout the country, but most teams try to just keep it into 2 skills for the requirement. It's not something she has to do, but it's definitely something worth seeing, and the judges want to honor that too. Here she goes into her dismount, gainer pike off the end, and a great finish there. It looked like she could have easily taken a slight hop on that landing, and she tried to cover with her finish. It's called the college finish, and she might have gotten away with a little slight deduction on that. Great routine for Western Michigan.
That's Amelia Moeller, the junior.
Here's her dismount, gainer back pike off the end. Maybe a slight scooch of her foot on the landing, probably just a 1/2 there. Great job.
We're finishing up the first rotation. This is Western Michigan on the beam.
And another all-around
Yes.
gymnast. She's an excellent performer. I know earlier on she kind of had tweaked her ankle throughout the season, and but she's been able to come back, and she's stayed strong competitor throughout the year. So it's going to be awesome to watch Rachel compete today.
Rachel Underwood, the senior. Cary, Illinois. You know she's worked years to get to this point. You're a senior, MAC Gymnastic Championships, finishing it off. You know she wants to go out with a bang.
Absolutely, and she anchors beam for a reason. They can really rely on her, and it is her senior year. She's had a lot of experience, and she's ready for this atmosphere. This is as you get to your juniors and senior year, you really are anticipating the competition of MAC championships and regional championships. So you're ready to handle those types of pressures, where opposed to younger classmen, they're not quite ready for that. But there she is, showing off her beautiful flexibility there in her mount. Hitch kick into a side aerial. Nice finish. Again, minimizing the deductions, leaving no room for error for the judges. Preparing for a flight series. Back handspring, layout step out. Just a little squat there. The legs kind of buckled on her a little bit, but just very minor deduction there. Nice full turn. Little beat jump into a split 3/4. Again, she might want to have to pull those legs a little bit higher to reach the maximum 180 degrees to minimize deduction. Nice arabesque scale. And going into her dismount. Cartwheel, gainer, layout full, the end. Or off the side. Beautiful landing. Great way to end your beam lineup there for Western Michigan.
The anchor for the Broncos on the beam, Rachel Underwood. Again, this is rotation number 1. This is the MAC Gymnastics Championships. Andy Garcia alongside former Arizona State gymnast Ashley Feuerbach. You see just some of the crowd. A great attended crowd here so far in the Cavs. We'll take the timeout. We'll come back. Again, this is just the start of the action here in the MAC Gymnastics Championships. We'll come back. Second rotation will be underway. And you see Danielle Pedrick from Central Michigan showing up early for the Chippewas as they try to go back-to-back in the MAC Championships. Back here, the 2019 MAC Gymnastics Championships. Andy Garcia alongside former Arizona State gymnast Ashley Feuerbach. We move to rotation number 2. You will see NIU on the floor here. The buys for this rotation are Ball State, Central Michigan, and Western Michigan. And we take a look at some of the replays from that first rotation, Ashley, and you'll see Pedrick on the vault there for Central Michigan.
Like I said, one of the most difficult vaults that you could possibly do, and she does it phenomenally. I mean, you could not have asked for a better result from her.
And Emily DeVronix.
Huge full twisting double layout dismount there.
And here is Rachel Underwood from Western Michigan.
And a stellar job by Rachel Underwood. She could not have done a better job finishing up the beam lineup. I know they had a couple of falls that they had to count, which is unfortunate because it's the first event and that's not the start that you want to have to the competition, but anything can happen, like we said. Anything can happen. It happens all the time. Mistakes do happen, so it's about how can they pull themselves out of that hole.
So we're through the first rotation again now. Ball State, Central Michigan, and Western Michigan will have buys. In the second rotation, Kent State will be on the vault. Bowling Green will be on the bars. Eastern Michigan will be on the beam. And as I said, NIU will be on the floor. And we are going to update you with scores. And again, we're through one rotation. And you can see NIU warming up on the floor. This is their strong event for NIU, and there you see the team score so far through one rotation.
Yeah, so Ball State, they're leading the way right now at the 49-15, and Central Michigan's not too far behind. I believe that their 48.875 is not their best score of the season for vault, but certainly a good start to the competition for sure. Eastern Michigan with the 48.425, and Western Michigan counting a 46.525 so far today.
Now we see the floor rankings here in the MAC, and you see NIU high up on the list.
Yeah, they're just phenomenal. They've got a lot of tumbling that is impressive overall from start to finish. They've got a lot of difficulty, and they do it well. So you can have a lot of difficulty and have some mistakes on that, but NIU has figured out a way to maximize their potential, and it'll be interesting to see how they are able to perform that today.
And then the individual national rankings on the floor, and Anna Martucci right there, number 25 in the nation.
Yeah, and like we said earlier on in the broadcast, she is phenomenal on floor. She anchors the floor lineup for the Huskies, and you'll see it shows. She's just a beautiful, dynamic floor worker. She pays attention to the detail, and it's just an impressive routine to see.
How do you take it, Ashley, where you're NIU? The floor is probably your best event. You've got it first as you start out this competition.
Yeah,
is that good, bad?
You know, it's preferable to end on floor because you want to build up to that. But I think that I've talked to the team earlier this week, and they're really excited to start on their strongest event. They're going to use it and maximize the potential that they have here and really lead off and use that momentum moving forward into the rest of the competition.
Paige Nicholas will start it off on the floor for NIU. Again, the Huskies were the preseason favorites in MAC Gymnastics. Central Michigan won the regular season. Here is Paige Nicholas to start it out for the Huskies.
Here's her opening pass. Huge double pike. Nice landing, very controlled. Paige just has some springs in her legs and she just really gets up into the air. It's impressive. Second pass. Front full to front layout. Another controlled landing there on her second pass. Really minimizing the deductions here. Going into one of her special requirements with Elite Connection Series here. Nice switch split full to a split jump. Here she is finishing off a routine. Huge double tuck, just land a little short. The judges will take a slight deduction there, but overall it was a pretty great start for NIU on floor.
Paige Nicholas, the senior from Cleveland, Ohio, starting off on the floor for NIU. And in this second rotation, we're going to move over. And there is Giovanna East, the junior from Zion, Illinois, for Bowling Green. They're going to be on the bars.
Yeah, and just a very impressive gymnast for Bowling Green, and she has been for years. And it's just nice to see that she's in the lineup on bars too. I know that she's hasn't quite been in the lineup on bars throughout the season, and she had to step up about 4 or 5 competitions into season to stand up for her team, and it's been quite impressive to see her progression here with bars.
Just about to go. Her final preparations. Bowling Green, again, they had a bye in that first rotation, so this is their first event in the MAC championships today. Final breath. She gets ready.
Sometimes this is another example of trying to control your nerves. When the judges aren't quite ready, when you're ready, that changes your mentality as you approach and the timing of what you normally do. And the gymnasts, they are impacted by that throughout the season. However, she's ready for it. She has the experience, and hopefully she can control and minimize the nerves right now.
Before that, let's go over.
Oh, beautiful. Round off double full dismount. You could not ask for a better landing than that. Great job from Eastern Michigan.
And that was Sattler over for Eastern Michigan, back to Giovanna East.
Huge Tkachev. Transition to the low bar. Just a separation of legs, so there's going to be deduction there, and a little loose in her back from the handstand, but here she is going to dismount. Double layout, just that slight hop. Overall, good performance for Giovanna.
A good way to start off the MAC championships. Giovanna East, Bowling Green. Back to the floor, NIU.
And here's Emily Basara. She hasn't typically been in the floor lineup. She's been trying to get in, and she's been exhibitioning all season long to get in, and they had to make a change due to someone being out due to injury last weekend. So she's been practicing though. She's been in exhibition, preparing for this moment. So far, she looks like she's been delivering. Whip, 1.5. Great landing, nice control. Nice fun routine for Emily. Certainly delivered for her performance there.
We're going to move over to the vault. Kent State and Abby Fletcher.
Yurchenko layout full.
And that is Cami Klein.
Just quite couldn't keep her chest up on the landing, so the judges do deduct where your chest is as you land and how low that might be. But just a small step on the landing too, so I would say maybe at least a 3/10 deduction for landing. But great vault for Cami.
Cami Klein, the freshman from Zionsville, Indiana. Over to the bars, Bowling Green.
Great Tkachev, really had to reach to catch the bar there, and she's controlling it, so she's fighting her way through. Back up to the high bar, nice handstand. Double layout, beautiful landing. That's the way to maximize your scores, to eliminate those deductions on landings and handstands. She did a great job there.
Katie Morsefield, the senior from Kent, Ohio. How about that? Starting out the MAC championships.
Yeah, great job. She's so happy. I'm so happy for her.
Again, this is the second rotation of 7. Again, 3 teams sit out each event. And here is Abby Fletcher.
Huge vault for Abby. Yurchenko layout full. Just a small little hop on the landing. Chest was forward a little bit. I think she was really trying to fight for the stick, and she did a fantastic job. Very impressive vault for Abby Fletcher.
Fletcher, the sophomore from New Jersey. And over to the beam, and Shannon Gregory, Eastern Michigan.
Switch leap directly into a layout step out. Very impressive, very difficult to do, and she did it well. Beat jump into a sheep jump. Another difficult skill. It doesn't look as difficult as others, but it is a blind landing going back to the beam, which is just hard to do. She's doing a great job. Getting ready for her flight series. Back handspring, layout step out. Just a slight bobble, but she recovers really well. Nice little tick-tock there. Unique feature in her routine. Preparing for her dismount. Back handspring, full and a half dismount, just a small step back. Great performance by Shannon Gregory.
Shannon Gregory getting a big congratulations from their head coach, Katie Minnesota, as she was hyped and excited about that event over on the beam. Again, second rotation action here, the 2019 MAC Gymnastics Championships over back Kent State. This is Dara Williams.
Huge Yurchenko full. I think she just had so much adrenaline that she just couldn't quite control it to get a stronger landing out of her. And I know that she's performed it better throughout the season, but great job. And we're looking to minimize those landing deductions for sure.
Dara Williams, the senior from Bloomington, Illinois. We'll go back to the floor. Allison Richardson will be up for NIU, the junior from Marysville, Ohio.
Certainly a joy to watch on floor. Allison has been really consistent for the Huskies throughout the season, and certainly a reliable routine.
And this is the first event for NIU. They had a bye in the first rotation, so NIU starts out on the floor. And here is Richardson.
She pretty much has that smile on her face throughout the whole routine. Here she goes for her first pass. Opening pass. Beautiful double pike. Stuck landing. A little wink at the judges there. Going into our second pass. Front handspring, Rudy, which is a front layout, 1.5 twist. Preparing for her last pass here. There she goes. Run up 1.5. Front layout. Maybe slightly low on the front layout. They could take a minor deduction there, but overall, you couldn't ask for better landings in that routine. Great job by Allison Richardson.
Richardson, the junior, finishing up on the floor for NIU. Go back to Eastern Michigan. Emily DeBronix getting ready for her beam.
Preparing for a flight series. Back handspring, layout, step out. Another triple flight series of the day. It's nice to see that variety throughout the competition. Just a slight bubble there on the full turn. Pike jump into a pike 3/4. Solid landings there. Dismount, round off 1.5, just a small step on the landing. Great job. She got on and she got off. She did as little as she had to, but got all of the requirements, and that's what you want to do.
That was DeBronix for Eastern Michigan. Now we move back to the floor in NIU.
Here's Amanda Bartimio. Opening pass. Huge double layout. Great controlled landing. Special requirement there, switch side to Popa, which is a straddle jump full twist. Reaching her maximum 180 degrees on her split requirement. Preparing for a second pass. Front layout, front full, nice job. It's nice to see the second flip rise. She rose slightly out of the front layout. Before her last pass. She ends with a D pass. It's a double tuck. Great landing. Another solid routine by the Huskies.
Amanda Bartimio. Huskies' first event of the day on the floor as we're in the second rotation overall here. This is the 2019 MAC Gymnastics Championships. Andy Garcia alongside former Arizona State gymnast Ashley Feuerbach. As you see, a Husky head coach, Sam Moriali. They have never won the MAC Championships. They were the preseason favorites. They finished second in the regular season. He feels today could be the day for his Huskies.
Yeah, they've been really trying. Their main goal today has been taking home the title, and all week long, and really the competitions leading up to this performance, the goal for them is just to be focusing on what they do in the gym. What have they been doing in practice? Focusing on that. It's just another practice today, nothing more. And when you can do that and you can really tone down your nerves and your adrenaline, you can hopefully get the results that you want.
This is not just another gymnast on the floor, though. This is Anna Martucci.
This is Anna Martucci. Beautiful performer. You'll see her routine's not one of those bubbly, happy routines. She's just a very dynamic, intense performer, and it's refreshing to see a difference there. Opening pass. Huge double pike. She did have to take a big step back there, so they will probably deduct at least a 10th or more. They could potentially take 2 on that, but she recovers nicely. Going right into her second pass. Front full to a front layout. Beautiful landing there. I've seen her perform this routine all season long, and it just never gets old. Huge leap combination there. Beautiful 180-degree splits. third pass. Double tuck. Huge double tuck. Nice finish. Beautiful performance by Anna Martucci.
Anna Martucci, first team All-MAC from the floor, but also a MAC Distinguished Scholar athlete as well. A 3.568 in marketing. She does it all, and she did it right there on the floor for NIU.
Yeah, and she has qualified to NCAA Nationals last year just for the floor performance. So you can see that routine right there is just a beautiful performance, and I know she'll be vying to get into regionals again, and ultimately her goal is to qualify to nationals once more.
So that finishes off rotation number 2 of the 2019 MAC Gymnastic Championships. We'll come back, rotation number 3. As you see Sam Morielli, head coach of NIU, getting his team pumped, and there's Emily DeBronix finishing it off for her team, Eastern Michigan, on the beam here at the MAC Championships. Back to the 2019 MAC Gymnastics Championships here in the Convocation Center on the campus of Northern Illinois University, DeKalb, Illinois. Andy Garcia alongside former Arizona State gymnast Ashley Feuerbach as we just finished up rotation number 2. And we saw Eastern Michigan on the beam in that second rotation. I bet they're feeling pretty good about what happened over on the beam. And NIU just finishing up on the floor. Really the highlights from that second rotation. But when we get to the replays, you're going to see from Eastern Michigan, Caitlin Sattler really had a good performance from Eastern Michigan on the beam with a high score.
Yeah, and you couldn't really ask for anything more here. There's that dismount, that run-off double full. Beautiful job there by Sattler. And going into beam, you just never know what could happen. And Eastern Michigan delivered for sure. So they're really excited about that performance.
And again on the beam for Eastern Michigan, Emily DeBronix, the junior, the all-around competitor, with a 9.85.
Here's her dismount, run off 1.5, just that small little hop there. Great job by Emily.
That was DeBronix with the 9.85 on the beam. And then Anna Martucci, the senior for NIU. She's so good on the floor. She did it again today.
Yeah, and when you anchor for the floor or the Huskies all season long on floor, both last year and this year, you can't ask for a better routine to end the floor competition here at Convocation Center.
9.9 for Anna Martucci, the anchor for NIU. And we'll give you some scores again. We're trying to give you all the coverage we can here of the 2019 MAC Gymnastics Championships. We'll give you some scores again. We have the team overall. We've got the all-around. We've got event champions. So we've got a lot going on and a great crowd out here at the Convocation Center. Again, the team's warming up for the third rotation. You see a look at the MAC vault rankings. You see Ball State right there at the top.
Yeah, they are really strong on vault in the MAC for sure. They've got a lot of difficulty but not only that, they just perform really, really well, and the landings have just been phenomenal and very consistently like that throughout the season for Ball State.
See Ball State up there on the top for the vault. In this third rotation, Ball State on the vault, Central Michigan on the bars, Bowling Green on the beam, Western Michigan on the floor. NIU, Kent State, Eastern Michigan with the buys this third rotation. Again, we have 7 rotations. We have 7 teams competing. So again, we have a different team on each apparatus, 4 at the same time. And again, it's Maction madness here in March. In different ways today, it's gymnastics.
That's right. And I think so far the teams have to be pretty proud of how they're performing. I know Western Michigan and Bowling Green, they haven't quite started off the way that they wanted to, but they certainly can't count themselves out of it. So there's a lot of competition left to go. Both of those teams have only done 1 rotation so far. They've had a bye, so they're going to be trying to dig themselves out of the hole that they're in right now, and I think that they potentially could definitely come out of that and perform well.
Again, we're not just looking at the MAC championships today, but some of these teams, some of these gymnasts have chances to move on to the NCAA regionals, and we'll talk a little bit more about it too, but they have changed some of the scoring about how to get into the regionals.
Absolutely. Yeah, the qualification going into regionals is a little bit different right now, and the reason that they've changed it is to actually eliminate buys in competitions. Buys are confusing. Buys are not common throughout the regular season, and they want to make sure that each gymnast are getting every opportunity that they can to perform at their very best.
We're going to start with Ball State on the vault.
This is Arden Hudson. She has a beautiful vault, very unique and rare to see in NCAA competition. Front handspring double full. It's not as huge and dynamic as some of the other vaults, but it's still very, very difficult to perform and control, most importantly, on the landings. And she did have that slight step back, so we'll see where the judges score her on that.
We move to the beam, Bowling Green, Lexi Augustine.
Getting ready for her flight series, back handspring, layout step out. Nice, solid landing. Exactly what you want on your lead-off position. Nice switch side, beautiful, 180-degree split there. Beat jump into a split 3/4, maybe a little low on her back leg. They could take a 1/2 a tenth to a tenth there, depending on the judge's view and angle from where they are. Getting her lower body requirements down onto the low beam. Nice full turn. And just getting ready for her dismount. Cat leap, side aerial into a full dismount. Nice stuck landing. You could not have asked for a better starting routine for Bowling Green. That's how you get yourself out of that hole.
That was Lexi Augustine. Now we over to the bars. Central Michigan, the Chippewas.
Blindfold Ginger. Oh, unfortunately, on her Ginger, when she went on her release, she didn't get the height that she needed with her hips, so her hands just couldn't quite get over the top of the bar. And unfortunately, she peeled right off here. You'll see it again. Blindfold right into her Ginger. See how she's a little low and she's below the bar on the entire release. And so in order to be able to control those hands and get control with the swing out of it, it's difficult to do, and she's going to have to regroup.
This is Kennedy Ray Johnson, again on the bars for Central Michigan.
Here she goes back to the high bar. Nice cast handstand there, preparing for her dismount. Full twisting double back, beautiful landing. She couldn't have asked for a better finish to the routine. Unfortunately, she does have the fall, and so Central Michigan will have to drop this score and rely on the remaining individuals in the lineup to really nail the routines.
Some pressure for Central Michigan early in this MAC championships as we move over to the vault in Jordan Penny.
Absolutely.
For Ball State. Penny, the graduate from Aurora, Illinois.
Yeah, and she's a really huge contributor for Ball State. Let's see how she performs here. Yurchenko layout full. Nice landing. Just a slight hop there, probably 1 to 2 tenths on the landing, probably closer to 1. And what I like about Jordan's vault is she actually waits to twist, which is really important to be able to control the landing better.
Back to the beam in progress. Bowling Green, Jasmine Jones.
What you didn't quite see just there is she did her flight series with a huge back tuck in it and stuck it perfectly. Finishing up her beam routine here. Nice gainer, back pike off the end of the beam. Beautiful landing. Another stuck and solid routine by Bowling Green.
Jasmine Jones, the sophomore from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, back to the vault. Ball State. This is Marissa Nychek.
And like we said earlier, Ball State, they're phenomenal on vault. Huge vaults here. Round up Yurchenko tuck 1.5. Impressive vault. That vault right there is another difficult vault in the MAC championship today. She starts from a 10.0, so that's the maximum score she can get on that vault. and she did it really, really well.
I think she stuck that landing too. Looked good. Marissa Nychik for Ball State on the vault. Again, this is the third rotation of 7. The 2019 MAC Gymnastics Championships. Andy Garcia alongside former Arizona State gymnast Ashley Feuerbach. Again, 4 events. We have 3 teams on buys in each rotation. Over to Central Michigan and the bars.
This is going to be a really important routine for Central Michigan. Nice, beautiful cast handstand. Line change directly into a straddle Jaeger. Another handstand going into her transition to overshoot to handstand. So far, she's doing a fantastic job. Back up to the high bar. A little short on the cast handstand there. Full twisting double tuck dismount and a beautiful landing. What a great job by Central Michigan.
Nice job,
So really,
Central Michigan. We believe that was Kaylee Miller for Central Michigan. Ball State.
another huge vault by Ball State. Maddie McDonald, beautiful layout Yurchenko half with the small step. Great job by Maddie.
Again, great action all around in these events. Rotation number 3 here right now as you see Ball State on the vault. Just finishing up was Maddie McDonald.
Yeah, and Ball State, they really have some huge, impressive vaults, and what I've seen is a little bit more of the, like on that last vault, there was a small step on the landing, and if they can minimize those steps on the landings, it can really help build up their score potential.
Over to the floor, rotation number 3 for Western Michigan. This is Morgan Spence. The sophomore just about to start her routine on the floor. Before we get to that, we'll go back to the vault in Ball State. Try to show you as much as we can.
This is actually Steffi Schweikert. She's a gymnast that I used to coach.
Nice.
So it's kind of fun to see her perform right now.
When did you start helping train her?
She was probably 6 years old.
Unbelievable.
And I coached her all the way up till about freshman year in high school, maybe. And beautiful, laid out Yurchenko half, just a small hop on the landing, but a huge anchoring vault for Ball State. Great job by Steffi.
Back to Morgan Spence on the floor for the Broncos.
An important performance here for Morgan Spence. Opening pass, double pike. Oh, she did step over that white line. I did see the judge raise her hand too, so she did acknowledge it. That's, again, an additional 10th deduction off of her final score. Front handspring to front layout, 1.5, also called a Rudy. Great landing on that skill. Nice leap combination there, showing her maximum 180-degree split. Preparing for her last pass. 1.5 to front layout. Great solid landing there. Nice finish for Morgan Spence.
Morgan Spence just finishing up on the floor, the sophomore from Western Michigan. And we'll move to Danelle Petrick on the bars for the Chippewas. This becomes very important for Central Michigan.
Absolutely, and you know, Danelle is one who can really handle the pressure in situations like this. Here she goes. Huge release over the high bar, back up to a blind full. Huge pack release on to the low bar. Back up to the high bar. She's going to really want to maximize those handstands. Blind full to a toe on, front tuck, half stuck dismount. Great job. Definitely
just had
something.
a good start.
Yes, definitely something that Central Michigan really needed there.
Over to Bowling Green on the beam. Lauren Domino.
Preparing back handspring, layout, step out. Nice landing there. Required full turn. Getting ready for her dismount. Oh, she goes for a front tuck. Beautiful front tuck, not solid landing, not one little bobble, but maybe a little bit there on her dance. Nicely recovered. And now she prepares for her dismount. Here she goes, round off, 1.5 twist, and a stuck landing. Wow, Bowling Green is really delivering and getting the job done over there on beam.
Head coach Terry Turner has got to be excited about what Bowling Green's shown so far, and that was Lauren Domino, the senior.
Absolutely.
Again, this is the third rotation of 7, the 2019 MAC Gymnastics Championships. We've got 4 teams on each of the 4 events right now. We have 3 teams sitting out each event. We're going to go to the floor. Western Michigan and Stacy Harrison.
There's a required leap combination, switch side to a popa, which is a straddle jump with a full twist. Maximizing his 180 degrees split leaps that are required. Nice double pike. Solid landing there. Great job by Stacy Harrison.
Harrison, the sophomore from Fayetteville, North Carolina, on the floor for Western Michigan. And rotation number 3 here. Overall. We're going to go back to the beam. Bowling Green. And this is Taylor Worthington.
Back handspring, layout, step out. Oh, good fight. Oh, she could have easily just gone off the beam and she fought, so that's very important for her to do that. Minimizing the deductions there. Switch leap to split jump. Beautiful 180-degree splits. Cat leap into a front aerial, step out into a Sassone. Very nice combination, very difficult to do. She's really controlling those nerves after that little mistake there on her flight series, which is important because there's still one more competitor to go after her, and they're gonna have to make sure that they minimize as much of a deduction as they can on the routine.
Yeah, that next gymnast up for Bowling Green will be Giovanna
Pitch
East.
kick, side aerial to full stuck landing. Great job recovering from that bobble.
Over to the floor. This is Rachel Underwood. for Western
Beautiful
Michigan.
front double twist to a Sassone there. Nice dynamic routine. I like to see the variety in choreography from gymnast to gymnast. Here goes her second pass. Front handspring, Rudy to layout, step out. Beautiful combination. She does it well. She's preparing for her last pass, trying to get a breather in there. There's a lot of endurance here to take through the 90 seconds of floor routine. Front handspring to Rudy, front layout 1.5. Beautiful finished for Western Michigan.
Rachel Underwood, she's ranked 3rd right now in the all-around coming into today. She is just fighting for every point as she tries not just to help Western Michigan, but maybe try to be all-around champion in the MAC.
Absolutely, and she's got the experience. She's a senior. She's been here, done that, and has had postseason experience as well. So she knows how to handle the pressure, and she's just a great leader for their team, for the Broncos.
Move over to the beam. Bowling Green. And this is Giovanna East setting up for her beam. She's the anchor for the Falcons, the junior.
Really important routine here. They did have that slight wobble. That it's probably at least a 3/10 deduction from the last routine, and so she's going to really want to minimize every little deduction she might have here, which is a huge back handspring layout. I don't think I see anyone performing a layout step out that high in the MAC. Straddle jump to tuck full. Very difficult to do. Great landings. Switch leap. Straddle quarter combination, getting some extra bonus in there. Fulfilling the lower body requirement of touching the beam. And all she has left is her dismount. She's had a fantastic routine so far. Let's see if she can cap it off. Round off 2.5 dismount. Extremely difficult to do, and she does a fantastic job with that. Way to go for Giovanna East, anchoring for the Falcons.
The Falcons finish off
Phenomenal job.
on the beam, finishing up this 3rd rotation. And now over to Western Michigan as Katie Jennings, the anchor leg for the Broncos, on the floor.
Front layout half to split jump. Nice combination there. Switch side to a straddle full, also called a popa. Again, those leap jumps or leap combinations are all requirements, and you can do different variations of those skills as long as you're fulfilling the requirement of 2 different leaps and jumps connected. Preparing for her second pass. Round off back handspring 2.5, and she just didn't quite get the rotation she needed under her, get the feet under her. Unfortunately, they had to kind of fall there.
Katie Jennings finishing up. Jennings, the senior.
Unfortunately, not the way that she wanted to end it, but those mistakes happen, and that's why you've got 6 scores. You can drop the lowest, and hopefully they didn't have to count another fall there.
That finishes up the 3rd rotation of 7 here. The 2019 MAC Gymnastics Championships will come back. Update you on some scores. It is tight throughout here as Giovanna East finishing up Bowling Green over on the beam. Fantastic finish for East and the Falcons, who had a great event on the beam. Giovanna East finishing up for the Falcons here, MAC Gymnastics. For rotation number 4 here, the 2019 MAC Gymnastics Championships here from Convocation Center, DeKalb, Illinois. Andy Garcia alongside the former Arizona State gymnast Ashley Feuerbach. And we're through 3 rotations, and so far it's been really good action. We'll first start off with Giovanna East, Bowling Green on the beam. Just a fantastic performance for East.
Yeah, she really capped off the routine here with a round off 2.5 twists. It's a very impressive dismount to do. No, I don't think I've seen anybody else do it in competition at all throughout the country. So great job by Giovanna.
A 9.9 for East. And Danelle Pedrick has just come out and been strong already as we see her on the bars.
Yeah, just another solid performance by Danelle, and they always rely on her, and she delivers for sure. Huge dismount. Exactly what they needed.
9.85 for Pedrick on the bars. And for Western Michigan, we've been keeping an eye on Rachel Underwood and her performance on the floor. She had a really nice number.
Yeah, just a solid performer for Western Michigan. Again, she delivered when she needed to, and she just did a fantastic job.
Rachel Underwood, the senior, trying to go out in style, the 9.875 on the floor for Western Michigan. Just some of the action there from rotation number 3 again. We're trying to bring you everything we can from around the different events. 4 events happen at the same time. Again, we have 7 teams, so 3 teams have to sit out each rotation as we move to rotation number 4. We're going to see Kent State. They're going to be on the bars. NIU will be on the vault. Central Michigan on the beam. You see Pedrick warming up. And Eastern Michigan on the floor. As we take a look at the beam rankings in the MAC, you'll see Kent State on top.
Yeah, they just know how to minimize those deductions. Every little skill that they perform, they are great at finishing without any wobbles and landings. And so they've just done a very good job all season long, being pretty consistent throughout their beam competitions.
So Kent State will be looking to have a nice team score and individual scores. You take a look at the individual rankings for the gymnasts, and you see Giovanna East on top in the MAC.
Yeah, she leads the way again, and you saw her performance there. She's just consistently, you can rely on her every single time, and that's why she's the anchor. They can rely on her, and they have a lot of faith that she can perform exactly when they need somebody to deliver, and she does that.
So there's the beam national rankings. 2019 MAC Gymnastics Championships. Great crowd. The whole NIU football team is here. They practiced earlier. They're in the stands cheering on everybody. And again, as you see, a really nice crowd here. As here's the team scores after 3 rotations. You see NIU, they've only had 1 rotation, but you see Ball State up there after 2 rotations of their own.
Yeah, it's exciting to see them leading the way there. Not a surprise, really. It's just that they have a lead over the other 2 teams, or other 3 teams that have already competed 2 rotations. And so it's just exciting. You can see that small little tenths here and there, half a tenth here, a half a tenth there. Those just slightly do add up. It doesn't seem like a lot, but when you look at overall from routine after routine, it can really make a difference.
So again, not only do we have the team scores, you've got all-around scores we'll take a look at later on, also event scores. As we get ready, Kent State is on the bars. And if we go back and we see Kent State on the bars, you're going to see, as I mentioned, the Huskies on the vault, Central Michigan on the beam, Eastern Michigan on the floor. It's interesting, Ashley, because you've trained some of these gymnasts, which I think is very cool. Like you talked about one gymnast you've been training with since the age of 6.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It is. It's pretty fun just to see him going from how small and how little they were to, grown up to be a young adult. It's just, it's fun to see the change in the progression from then till now. And I'm really proud of the girls for competing here in the MAC Championship. Beautiful front tuck mount here starting off with Central Michigan. Very impressive. Switch leap into a split 3/4. She's going to want to really pull up those legs a little bit more to reach the maximum 180 degrees. Going into a flight series back handspring, layout step out. Solid landing, beautiful artistry here. You can see it all the way through her fingertips, all the way to her toes. We were talking about that earlier. I know that is one thing that sets Central Michigan apart slightly is the attention to detail that I see from gymnast to gymnast. Nice beat jump to Sassone there. And back pike, gainer back pike dismount, just maybe a slight hop there on the dismount, but overall, what a great way to start off for the Chippewas.
That was Gianna Plaxa for Central Michigan on the beam. Going to move over to the vault for NIU.
And for NIU on vault, it's not their strongest event. It's actually one of their weakest events, and that just goes to the difficulty that they perform on vault, and they've really tried to push and work their way up on that, and it's just something that they have to clean up and work on. If they can pay attention to the landings and the little small details, just like that, Paige just did a beautiful laid out souk and slightest hop on the dismount, or the landing, that's exactly what kind of landing that you're going to look for if you're going to have any deduction there. And beautiful job by Paige.
Paige Nicholas, the senior from Cleveland Ohio. We move over to more action in this fourth rotation. The Kent State Golden Flashes. They're on the bars. And again, we have a wait for the scoring here.
Yep, those nerves can really rattle you when those judges are not quite ready compared to when you are ready, but they face these little challenges here and there throughout the season, so hopefully she has mentally prepared herself for that.
Gabby Williams, the junior, just getting her mind set. Again, this is the pinnacle, the MAC championships.
Yeah, and Kent State's very, very solid team on bars. It's one of their stronger events as well, and you can see why as they perform. Nice cast handstand on the high bar immediately to a Ginger. Just a small leg separation when she caught, so their judges, depending on their view angle, they could deduct there. Nice overshoot to handstand. Transitioning back up to the high bar. Another cast handstand, tiny little arch there. The judges could deduct a half a tenth there. Into a dismount, double layout. Oh, that's too bad. Just wasn't quite ready for the landing, and so she had all of her momentum was back on her heels, and which pulls her momentum backward behind her. And fortunately, she had to take a couple steps there.
We'll move over to the Huskies on the vault. Morgan Hooper.
Morgan Hooper, she does a Yurchenko tuck full. Not one of the stronger vaults in the lineup, but she certainly does a good job. She just had a big step on the landing there. And so, again, we're going to want to minimize, especially for NIU when it's not their strongest event. They're going to want to minimize the steps on the landings.
Over to Eastern Michigan on the floor, and Shannon Gregory, she's already stepped out on the corner there.
Yeah, we've already started off with her opening pass. She just had so much momentum moving backwards that really she took lots of steps behind her and went out of bounds. So it's going to be a big deduction here for Eastern Michigan that they're going to want to drop.
Right here, the freshman just learning, right? Learning on the job as a freshman.
Absolutely. There's a lot of pressure here at her first MAC championships. Beautiful middle pass there. Catching her breath before her last pass. Double tuck. Oh, didn't quite get the air that she needed. Had a low landing with steps forward, so this is definitely going to be a routine and a score that they're going to want to drop.
And now Shannon Gregory, the freshman.
Difficult pass.
Over to the beam. Central Michigan.
Nice solid full turn. Going into her flight series here. Back handspring, layout, step out. Nice solid landing. Again, clean lines, attention to detail. You can see that they really focus on the details here with the Central Michigan beam routines. Oh no. Oh, that's unfortunate. Going into her switch half, she started turning her shoulders too early, and unfortunately she just pulls her hips right off of the beam.
Again, with this fall, Central Michigan, is going to have to drop this one, you think, is Sierra DeMarinis. Again, another freshman in the rotation.
Right, and like they just had that pressure put on them, and they were tested with that on bars, so we'll see. It'll be interesting. Great dismount, nice stuck landing. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the beam lineup handles that pressure.
Over to the vault, NIU, Amanda Bartimeo.
Amanda does a Yurchenko layout half. Maximum potential score on this vault is a 9.95. Beautiful landing. They could not have asked for a better landing. And talk about minimizing those deductions. She delivered. Amanda really stepped it up here for the Huskies.
Bartimeo with the stick on the landing. The junior stepping up.
That was beautiful.
We talked about in the open, who's going to step up? Who's going to make a name for themselves to help in these MAC championships?
Absolutely.
And the Huskies really excited about that as we go back to the bars. Kent State, the Golden Flashes.
Nice cast handstand. She lost a little control of the handstand, but she regained it. Her composure, no big deal. Oh, slight loose legs on the transition over to the low bar. She's regaining herself. Getting ready for a big dismount here. Double layout. It's a small step on the landing there.
That was Madison Trott, the freshman from New Wilmington, Pennsylvania for Kent State. And again, going to other action around. 4 events happening at one time. Try to show you as much as we can. Really good, high scores so far. We are in the 4th rotation of 7. And now we get ready for Cindy Lamberty.
Huge vault anchoring for the Huskies. Yurchenko layout full. Just a small hop there, but super clean in the air. Legs glued together. Great job anchoring for the Huskies.
Lamberty, the junior from Grayslake, Illinois, finishing off the vault for NIU. Moving around other action in this 4th rotation. We'll go to the beam. Morgan Tong for the Chippewas.
And a pressure situation, like we said. She's going to be tested quite a bit here for Central Michigan. And not only will she be tested, but now the judges are conferencing, and so that's going to delay the start of her routine that she mentally prepares for. That doesn't normally happen. So here's the coach. She's got her pulled off to the side, just trying to talk to her, get control of those nerves a little bit.
Actually, this is the 3rd rotation for Central Michigan. We'll get back to that because we're going to talk about, if you're looking at the team overall, man, Central Michigan, if you're going for that championship, this could be a big couple of events as Kent State over on the bars. Jade
nice
Brown.
Beginning half. Great low bar transition. Great cast handstand on the high bar. Nice huge double layout. Just a slight hop on the landing, but great, fantastic control. Another great routine for Kent State.
Jade Brown, the junior from Lansing, Michigan. Back to beam. Morgan Tong still waiting again.
Still waiting.
Coming down, you've only got so many scores left of your Central Michigan. Is it too early to, you're going for that overall team score? Is it now coming into, you're counting on a freshman here?
Right, I mean, that's just a lot of pressure, and if the coaches wouldn't put her in the lineup if they didn't feel like she didn't have the numbers behind her in practice to back her up. But again, you cannot have practice this pressure situation, especially on the stage of MAC championships. So we'll see how she does here. Beautiful, impressive strength here on her mount. Nice press handstand to front walk over. Front aerial, maybe a slight leg loose there. Into a back handspring layout, step out. Oh, big wobble there, but she recovers. It's certainly going to be a bigger deduction for this routine. Switch leap into a sheep jump. Slight balance check there. We talk about when we see the two different skills one after another, those are our connections, and a lot of times the girls are relying on bonus combination connection to build on their score. And when we don't have continuous connecting skills back to back, if there's too much of a break or a pause in between the skills, the judges can remove that bonus combination. But she ends with a great solid dismount, just a small hop on the landing.
That was Morgan Tong on the beam. We'll go over to the bars. Dara Williams, the anchor for the Golden Flashes.
An impressive anchor here for the Golden Flashes. Strong, aggressive bar swinger. Nice handstand on the high bar. Line change directly into huge pike Jaeger. Nice transition to the low bar. Another beautiful handstand. Those are the handstands you want when you see them just kind of hanging out on the high bar. And nice blindfold to a tuck dismount. And a great stick by the Golden Flashes. Great job by Dara.
You mentioned Kent State. They're so good on the bars. They showed it there on that rotation as we are finishing up rotation number 4. Over to the floor, Eastern Michigan.
Jada Rondeau here. Huge double tuck. Solid, clean landing there as well. She's vying for an all-around position here too. She competes all around for Eastern Michigan, and I know she represented the team in regionals and nationals last year, so definitely somebody they rely heavily on. Here goes her second pass. 1.5 to a punch layout. Nice stuck landing there. And just like Central Michigan, they're competing their 3rd event right now, Eastern Michigan is doing the same. So they're really making headway here on approaching the end of the competition compared to other teams. Nice front handspring Rudy to finish off her routine. Very difficult pass to do, and she does a phenomenal job with it. Great job.
Jada Rondeau, the sophomore, on the floor for Eastern Michigan. As we'll move to the beam, Central Michigan, Donnell Pedrick. She has had a fantastic meet so far.
She has, and man, she's been put in even greater pressure situations. Beautiful mount there. That's a mount that you're supposed to actually hold the handstand a little bit longer, but she had too much rotation, so she just recovered quickly. Sometimes you can easily fall backwards off the beam on that, and it's a risky mount to do, but she does it well.
Any points deducted for that?
No, I don't believe that she'll deduct anything for that. It's just more of a unique mount to start off with.
And for me, as a casual fan, cool to watch.
It is very cool. Nice, beautiful back handspring layout. Step out for her flight series. Cat leap, slight bounce check there. And actually had momentum moving backwards, took a step out of her leap connection there, but she recovers really well with her dance, and that's what the difference is in paying attention to the details here. Gearing up for her dismount. She gets on off real quick. Huge round off double full dismount. Big hop backwards on the landing, and so they will be taking at least I would say closer to 2/10 on that landing. It's just much different than a regular step.
Over to the floor, Emily DeBronix.
Huge pike full in. Probably the only pike full in that we'll see in competition today, and she did a fantastic job with it. Front layout to front full. Great controlled landing there by Emily. Going into our lead combination, switch side Popa. Again, it's just a straddle full. Gearing up for her last pass. Huge double tuck to end her routine. Wow, great landing. Great job by Emily DeBronix.
Eastern Michigan is having a fantastic meet so far, and Emily DeBronix has been a big part of that as we've just finished rotation number 4 of 7 here at the 2019 MAC Gymnastics Championships, and it's Dara Williams. What a performance she had. Kent State over on the bars as she'll take us to break. It's been a fantastic championship so far. More action to come. We've got 4 rotations down, 3 to go. And you see Dara Williams on the bars. Fantastic score as you're watching the MAC Gymnastics Championships right here on ESPN. 2018 MAC Gymnastics Championships here in Northern Illinois University and campus. Convocation Center, DeKalb, Illinois. Andy Garcia alongside former Arizona State gymnast Ashley Feuerbach. We are through 4 rotations. We now go to the 5th of 7 here. And Ashley, some of the action in that 4th rotation will start back with Dara Williams for Kent State on the bars, a high number for the Golden Flashes.
Yeah, they certainly wanted someone to anchor her off that they could rely on, and she does a great job sticking the landing there, as you see.
A 9.85 for Dara Williams. And over on the beam, Donnell Pedrick, again, she's just looking so strong. A 9.85 there on the beam.
Yeah, she did a great job. She anchored, and they really needed to have rely on some routines to be nailed there because they did have a fall earlier on in the lineup. So it was good to see them perform that way.
And for Eastern Michigan, over on the floor, Emily DeBonix, the junior, showing off on the floor.
Yeah, she's just solid competitor for Eastern, always easily relied on, and always delivers when they need her to, for sure.
You see that 9.9 on the floor for Emily DeBronix as Eastern Michigan just finishing up the floor. And now again, we get ready for rotation number 5. And we'll take a look at the All-MAC first team. There's some big-time names on that list. Giovanni East, Bowling Green, Donnell Pedrick, Courtney Beazold, Anna Martucci. That's first team All-MAC. Second team All-MAC. Some really good names there. You see Emily DeBronix, Morgan Spence, Nia Lore from NIU. We just saw Dara Williams on the bars. Again, congratulations. First and second team All-MAC performers from MAC Gymnastics this season. So now we get over to rotation number 5. Eastern Michigan, NIU, and Central Michigan are on buys. Keep that in mind as we get ready for the vault with Western Michigan, the bars with Ball State. Kent State's on the beam, Bowling Green is on the floor, and we will show you some of the updated team scores, but if you're looking at it, we have an opportunity to see it in our computers. Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan right there on the top, tied now at the top for the team scores.
Yes, they've got 3 events completed so far, the only 2 teams that have been able to compete on 3 events. And it's an exciting, it just makes the competition so much more exciting when it's neck and neck like that. So it'll be fun to see how the rest of the competition goes for the rest of the teams because there's still so much more to go on today.
Again, not just the team scores is going to be Champions Crown. You've got the all-around. You've got the events themselves. So again, we've got 7 teams with 4 events. So you get the 3 buys in each rotation. This is rotation number 5. Again, Central Michigan was the regular season team champs. They were the MAC champions last year, trying to go back and back. And you see Bowling Green. They've had some really good numbers as well here so far. Again, this is the best of the best, right? You come out here, you want to show who's going to be on top, who can step up. And that's what we're seeing so far here in the MAC Gymnastics Championships. And those are the team scores after 4 rotations. And you see Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan tied for first. Again, as Ashley said, there's still a lot of gymnastics here. As we're over on the beam, Samantha Henry for Kent State, the freshman.
That handspring layout step out flight series, just a slight balance check there. Beat jump into a split full. It looked like she didn't quite get her full all the way around, so the judges could take a deduction on that, but not only the deduction on that, but the degree of split that she had, because her back leg was low. Cat lead into a gainer, layout full dismount, nice stuck landing. Great start overall for Kent State.
That was Samantha Henry for Kent State. Over to the bars, where we'll find Ball State.
Oh, that's too bad. clear hips. She just didn't quite keep her hips over the bar, and she had to arch over. And even though she didn't come off the bar, it's a huge deduction how those extra swings and legs bending. Another arch, but she recovers there. Nice fight to see that from her. Nice pack salto to the low bar. Early on in the lineup, so there's going to be a lot of pressure built up for the remainder of those routines. Oh, and you see there, she just did a tuck flyaway. Typically we see a double back or a double layout, and right before she went, as she swung past the low bar, her feet hit the low bar. And what happens is mentally, that just kind of freaks you out as a gymnast. It changes your timing.
That was Sandra Elsadek over at Ball State here on the vault for Western Michigan.
Nice layout full Yurchenko. You see that she takes a step off to the side slightly. There is a deduction if we're not quite centered there, but part of that is just due to twisting a little too early off the table.
That was Taylor Bice for Western Michigan on the vault here in the 5th rotation of 7 here in the 2019 MAC Gymnastics Championships. Again, we've got 3 teams on buys. We've got 4 teams competing. As we're going to take a look at a replay.
That's unfortunate. Bowling Green has an injury on her in the middle of her routine. She has to stop her performance, sit out, and she's getting the attention she needs.
And that is Julia Beyer, the senior. It's the one thing you don't want to see.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
We were talking about that even before the competition started. Is we just hope that everyone stays safe and everyone is injury-free, and unfortunately it happens.
Here's Morgan Spence.
Moving to vault. Beautiful layout, Yurchenko full. Just a small, slight hop on the landing there. Minimal deduction, which was great.
Spence just finishing up on the vault. Over to the beam.
Another routine from Kent State. Nice jump combination, just wants the pool a little bit bigger on that 180-degree split jump.
This is Cami Klein.
Cat leap directly into side aerial. Nice recovery there. She could have easily just taken her shoulders off and fallen, but she recovered. Into a gainer full dismount. Nice stuck landing.
Cami Klein, the freshman from Zionsville, Indiana. Over to the bars, where we'll find the Cardinals at Ball State.
Arden Hudson, beautiful gymnast to watch here, especially on bars when you see the taller gymnasts. Just something about it makes it a little bit more elegant and graceful. Nice, Shaposhnikova directly back to an overshoot to handstand. Back up to the high bar, beautiful cast handstand there. Those are the handstands that judges want to see. Blind full, and directly into a double tuck dismount, just a small step on the landing. Great performance for Ball State.
Arden Hudson, the sophomore from Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Back over to the vault.
Huge Yurchenko full. Just wasn't quite getting the rotation off the table she needs, so she had her chest low on the landing, but overall pretty good landing, just a small hop there. Great job for the Broncos.
That was Shaylin St. Bryce on the vault for Western Michigan, the Broncos. This is the 5th rotation overall as we go back to the beam.
And here's the gymnast one of the gymnasts I used to coach. Her name's Sarah Lipowich. She's going right into her flight series, back handspring, layout, step out. Oh, and that's just too bad. Didn't quite get a push off of her back leg from the back handspring to get her hips square into the layout, step out, and she just comes right off.
What age did you start with her?
She was probably about 6 or 7 as she came over, and just a tiny little thing. Oh, she was so cute. And I watched her, coached her all the way up through her junior year, and it's fun to see her perform here. I know she fell, and it's unfortunate, but it's still impressive to see her starting from way back when she was teeny tiny to now. Nice dismount there. I know she's not happy with her performance, but you know, it does happen.
Over to the vault, Stacy Harrison.
Another huge layout Yurchenko full for the Broncos. Stacy's very, very impressive on vault. She's very powerful and does a great job for them.
Now over to the bars.
Okay, nice release to transition to the low bar. Oh, good cast handstand. She almost went over, but she saved it into a huge double layout dismount. Great landing for the Cardinals. Certainly a great performance that they're going to want to count for.
Maddie McDonald, the junior, sticking the landing.
One of the most impressive double layout dismounts I see in the MAC, for
The
sure.
Anchor for Western Michigan on the vault, Rachel Underwood. Again. Getting ready for her vault.
She has a very impressive layout full Yurchenko here. Let's see how she goes. Huge layout full. Just a small step. Very, very controlled on the landing, and great performance for Rachel Underwood.
The height on that vault, my goodness,
Yes.
for Rachel Underwood.
Yes, very impressive.
Over to the beam.
So Kent State, they've got some pressure here. They're going to have to step it up here after the fall that they had in the routine prior. Preparing for a flight series. Back handspring, layout, step out. Just slight leg bend in the layout, which is a deduction. Judges can take a half a tenth to a tenth. But solid landing, beautiful full turn. Preparing for a front aerial. Little leg bend there, but just connects it smoothly into a beat jump for bonus combination. Handling the pressure well here. Switch leap connection, bonus connection there. She's just going to want to get a little bit more maximized 180-degree split to reduce the deductions. Just getting ready for her dismount. Back handspring, layout, step out, full twist, stuck landing. Great job recovering for Kent State.
Riley Danielson, the freshman. Nice routine on the beam.
It's a lot of pressure for a freshman to handle that, and she did a great job.
Over Ball State on the bars, Marissa Nychik.
Toe on to release to the high bar, back to the low bar. She's going to want to keep those legs glued together to reduce the deductions. Nice cast handstand on the high bar. Getting ready for her dismount. Full double tuck with a full twist. It's called a full in. Just a couple steps on the landing there. Great performance.
Marissa Nychik, the freshman from Fort Myers, Florida. As you see some of the crowd, Convocation Center, some Falcons fans have made the trip. We're going to go back to the bars. Jordan Penny. Grew up not too far from here, Aurora, Illinois. Waubonsie Valley High School.
Very aggressive bar swinger, which is fun to see, for sure. Nice cast handstand starting off the routine. Line change directly into a piked Jaeger. Just caught a little bit close, and so this changes the swing going into the transition to the low bar, so she kind of had to bend her arms there. But recovering well, finishing up the routine. Nice blind full, directly into double tuck, and you can see how close she hit the bar, ended up hitting the high bar with her feet. Just the timing of the swing and releasing of the bar, she just held on too long and pulls herself right into it. Hopefully she's not hurt too badly.
We'll go back to the beam. Abby Fletcher for Kent State, the sophomore from Oradell, New Jersey.
Yeah, and the freshman Riley who went prior to her, you know, she had to handle the pressure of competing after a fall, but You know, Kent State's not out of the woods yet. So flight series back handspring, huge layout step out. Almost came off the beam, but she recovers nicely. Good save there. Nice leap combination there. Great 180-degree split. Nice inward full turn, just a slight balance check there. And front full dismount, slight hop on the landing. Not quite the solid routine that they're wanting, but again, a score that they're going to have to rely on due to the fall prior. So if Kent State can continue to work their way out of that, that'll be good.
That was Abby Fletcher. Again, this is rotation number 5 of 7 here. The 2019 MAC Gymnastics Championships on ESPN. Andy Garcia alongside former Arizona State gymnast Ashley Feuerbach. We go back to Ball State on the bars.
This is Stephanie Schweikert. She's one of those gymnasts I mentioned earlier that I coached. And as a freshman, being the anchor on bars, that's a lot of pressure to handle. And I know they've had some mistakes here earlier in the lineup for Ball State. So we'll see how she can handle this position here. And then we've got another judges dispute here. Not a dispute, but you know, they're not quite in line with the last routine, so we have to move on to Kent State.
We're going to go over to Kennedy Plouffe.
The anchor here for Kent State. Again, the pressure's on here, and she's in the anchor position because she can handle these pressure situations. Feet jump into split 3/4. Might want to pull those legs up a little bit higher to reach the maximum 180-degree split. But so far, solid performance for the anchor. Nice dismount into a 1.5. Great stick. Certainly delivered for the Golden Flashes.
The senior, the anchor for Kent State, Kennedy Plouffe.
No, they really needed to have those girls step up at the end of the lineup, and they really did perform to their full potential.
You know, head coach Bryce Biggin, his 28th season's got to be happy about how they finished off over there on the beam.
Absolutely.
And the judges still talking things over here, over in the bars, as Stephanie has to wait. We're going to the floor in Bowling Green.
Here's our opening pass. Huge double pike. Nice, solid landing. Great job. Going into our leap pass. Switch side. Popa to a wolf pull. Nice jump combination. The judges can take artistry deductions, and if they feel like the athlete's not quite performing to their full potential with the choreography, and she's doing a great job. 1.5 to a front pike. Nice landing there. And then this is after having that injury and that fall earlier in the lineup. So, Bowling Green is really under pressure here as well to perform the best that they can. Ending with a double tuck, huge landing. Great job. Good routine for the Falcons.
That is Kayla Rose for Bowling Green, the senior from Hamilton, Ohio. And we'll go back to bars.
And after all of that time waiting, here she goes for Stephanie Schweikert. Nice mount over the low bar directly into flying change. Straddle Yeager caught a little bit close, but she's going to have to really fight and swing through. Back up to the high bar, a little bit short cast on the handstand, blind full, directly connected to the double tuck, just that small step on the landing. Great job by the freshman.
She is the anchor for Ball State on the bars. As we go over to the floor, Bowling Green and Giovanna East.
Another solid performer as far as the all-around goes, and she's just such an impressive gymnast to see. You can see every time she's expected to be in the lineup, you can rely on her performance to count towards the overall team score, and it's fun to be able to watch her tonight. Huge wolf 1.5 for bonus. Double 2.5 twist to a punch front. That's that same 2.5 twist that you saw for her beam dismount. Very impressive. And a unique way of tumbling in her routine. Instead of going diagonally, she just went across the middle of the floor for a round off double full. Nice leap combination there. More amplitude on that front 1.5 twist, but other than that, overall, great job for the Falcons. Great job.
Giovanna East, the junior, finishing up the floor for Bowling Green, as we're now through 5 rotations of 7 here. This is the 2019 MAC Gymnastics Championships on the campus of NIU. We have 2 rotations left, and still so much up for grabs as we'll take the timeout. Kent State just finished up on the beam, and it was Kennedy Blood. What an anchor, the senior, with a fantastic beam performance. She'll get a high score, and we'll come back with the 6th rotation. This is the MAC Gymnastics Championships on ESPN. Here on the campus of Northern Illinois University, DeKalb, Illinois. We are moving on to the 6th rotation of 7. Andy Garcia with you alongside former Arizona State gymnast Ashley Feuerbach. And Ashley, in that 5th rotation, we'll start looking at Kennedy Blood and what she did on the bars for Kent State. Really nice performance.
Yeah, huge dismount to end the rotation for the Golden Flashes, and they really needed to rely on a big score there, and she delivered for sure.
Blood, the senior, with a 9.875 on the beam for Kent State. We'll move over to Giovanna East, who just going to finish up on the floor for Bowling Green.
Huge dynamic tumbler. She really gets in the air. On her last pass, she ends with the front handspring Rudy. Great performance for Bowling Green.
9.850 for East on the floor, and Rachel Underwood from Western Michigan, who was on the vault in that 5th rotation.
Yeah, it's just so impressive how high she gets off that table. She waits, gets up into the air, waits to twist, and that really helps her control the landing for the Broncos.
A 9.775 for Rachel Underwood, the Broncos, on the vault. So now we move to the 6th rotation, and we'll preview the bars coming up. That's where NIU will be as they are warming up. You see head coach Sam Morelli looking over his team, and there's the uneven bars rankings in the MAC. You see Western Michigan, the top team, followed by Kent State, Central Michigan. There's NIU. Huskies will be on their third rotation of the event. And here's the team scores through 5 rotations. Again, we only have 2 rotations left. And you see Central Michigan and Eastern Michigan again, right there, tied for first. Ball State right behind them. Bowling Green, Kent State, Western, and again, NIU, they still have some rotations left here. Bowling Green, Western Michigan, Kent State on buys. It'll be Eastern Michigan on the vault, NIU on the bars, Ball State on the beam, and Central Michigan on the floor. Keep in mind for Central Michigan, this will be their last event. They will have a bye in the last rotation. They will have to wait and see with the other teams if they can be back-to-back MAC champions. You see them, Central Michigan, warming up on the floor. And that's a fantastic shot. It just what goes through the chalk. And just everything you have to be ready for as you see NIU warming up on the bars. Let me ask you a question real fast, Astor, because again, MAC championships, you've gone through the regular season, non-conference. Just like in football later in the season, no one's 100%. We're a gymnast this time of year. 75%, 80%. You've gone through the bumps, you've gone through the bruises. I would not suspect there's a lot of gymnasts that are 100% going into the match.
That's right. You know, the season can be extremely long. In college gymnastics, you compete weekend after weekend after weekend. And prior to that, in club gymnastics, you might have a weekend here, and then you have a couple weekends off, and then a weekend there. And so the change in flow of competition to competition every week in, week out, it's very taxing on your bodies, but they learn to handle it.
Here's Jada Rondeau on the vault.
Starting off, a great laid out your tango full. Just landed slightly short on her landing, but had a slight hop and recovered quickly. So great start for Eastern Michigan.
Rondeau on the vault for Eastern Michigan, the Eagles, as we start rotation number 6 of 7 here, the MAC Gymnastics Championships. We go over to the floor, Central Michigan, where we'll find Morgan Tong. Tong, the freshman from Markham, Ontario.
A lot of pressure for a freshman to start off the lineup for Central Michigan, but she's been in the lineup, she's been competing for them, so she's prepared, she's ready for this opportunity here.
Looks like one of the Central Michigan coaches is over talking to the judges before Morgan Tong performs. So we finish off with Emily Basara for NIU.
Nice landing there for Emily. Great job, she's happy. She's the lead off on bars for NIU, and it looks like they had a great start to their first routine.
And then over to the vault. And this is Callie Harden.
Nice front handspring from Pike. Wow, I think she maybe scooched her foot a little bit, but that was a fantastic landing. What a great vault for Callie Harden. Wow.
And a sophomore with a fantastic vault.
Very impressive.
Go over to beam. This is Lauren Volpe.
Nice leap combination there.
Let me check that. That's Lauren Volpe.
Beat jump into split three-quarter. No, it was too bad. Oh, never want to see the girls fall on their events. You know, they train in so much, to put so much time and effort into it, and just those little nerves can really make the big difference.
Lauren Volpe.
Aerial to back full. Not the routine that she wanted, so it's definitely going to add that pressure back onto the remaining lineup for Ball State.
Over to the bars, the Huskies.
Allison Richardson here, starting off her routine. Nice straddle Jaeger. Back cast handstand with a pack salto to the low bar. Very nice transition. Going back to the high bar. Want to get those handstands. Just slightly short on the handstand there. Blindfold directly into a double tuck. Just a small step on the landing. We really want to have, NIU is really going to want to minimize those steps in the landings to really build themselves up.
Over to the floor. The Chippewas.
Yeah, and here she's been waiting this whole time. Those judges
Yes,
were just
Morgan Tong.
really wanted her to wait. Unfortunately, it happens, and she's got to deal with it. Nice 1.5 from Pike. Great connection. Nice, solid landing. You can really see the difference in choreography and performances here. I know Central Michigan, they really focus on engaging with around the room and into the crowd and the judges. Pointing to your next pass, double pike. Nice landing. Great finish for Central Michigan. A great start for the Chippewas.
Morgan Tong, the freshman. Back over to the vault, Eastern Michigan.
This is the all-around performer, Jada Rondo. I'm sorry, Megan Holtgren. A layout half Yurchenko, not quite the landing that they want. Lots of steps on the landing will increase on those deductions. So, but overall, the vault itself was pretty. She just needs to clean up the landing.
Over to the beam. Hanging on.
Another big wobble on Ball State. Not something that you expect from Arden. Nice aerial connection to a dismount. Slight step on the landing. Ball State's not quite having the performance that they typically would have here.
That was Arden Hudson for Ball State. Yeah, a little frustrated. Let's go back to the vault. Emily DeBronix.
Another huge vault here for Eastern Michigan. She also does a layout Yurchenko full, and it's just quite impressive. It's just she gets a lot of height and amplitude off the table, something that is a requirement that the judges are looking for. Here she goes. Didn't quite get the block off the table that she needed, so she actually didn't get the huge amplitude that she typically gets, and the result of that was landing low and having to take that big step forward.
Over to the bars and NIU and Allie Ferber, the senior.
Allie was out of due to injury at the last competition. She kind of strained her calf connecting into her Achilles, and so they've been really being cautious with her. Pulled her out of the floor lineup. Nice connection there. Going down to the low bar. Great transition. Nice and clean. Trying to get those cast handstands all the way vertical. Going into a dismount, double layout. Huge double layout. Maybe just a slight scooch with her feet. Great performance for Allie. I know that she's been really wanting to make sure she got back into the lineup after having a little tweak injury, but great job for Allie.
Again, this is the 6th rotation of 7 as we move to more action. We're on the 4 different events. Allison Smith, the anchor for the Eagles.
Nice tuck, 1.5 Yurchenko. Wow. I mean, you could not have asked for a better landing than that. That was perfect. Great job. That vault starts from a maximum potential of a 10-0 start value. It'll be interesting to see where they judge her on that.
Over to the beam in Ball State.
Gearing up for her flight series. Back handspring, layout, step out, just slight leg. That left leg tends to be a little loose on both back handspring and layout, so the deductions will be there for the judges to take. Probably half a tenth per skill, maybe more. Cat leap into a switch side. Side aerial directly into a full dismount. Nice stuck landing.
That's El Sadek for Ball State. Over to Huskies on the bars, and here's Nina Martucci.
Sister of Anna Martucci. Aggressive bar worker. Nice handstand to start the bar routine off with. Blind change directly into a Tkachev, facing the other direction. Typically you see it the other way. Nice overshoot to handstand. Transitioning back to the high bar. Into a full twisting double tuck. Nice stuck landing. Wow. Great job. The Huskies really, I was talking, they needed to clean up their landings, and that was a perfect example. Great job for Nina.
Nina Martucci, the junior. As you see, just some of the crowd here at the Convocation Center. A great crowd for the 2019 MAC Gymnastics Championships. Andy Garcia alongside former Arizona State gymnast Ashley Feuerbach. We are in rotation number 6 of 7 here. It's coming down to the wire. Champions will be crowned here in the MAC on this Saturday afternoon. Moving to all around the different events that we have. We'll go to the beam, Ball State.
Nice clean mount quickly to get up onto the beam. Caitlin typically does a triple flight series. She has 3 skills connecting into another. Oh, and she stopped. She just did the back handspring layout. Nice solid landing. Full turn. Overturned it just a little bit, but danced out of it to recover. Judges may take a half a tenth there, may not. It's totally based on what they feel like was a wobble. Nice front tuck. Very impressive. Right into a beat jump for bonus connection. Switch leap. Connected into straddle quarter. Oh, good save there. Almost tipped over. Minor deductions here with the lack of 180-degree split. Going into the dismount, round off 1.5. Good recovery on the dismount, just landed back on her heels for the step back.
That was Caitlin Menzioni for Ball State. And we'll go over to the bars, NIU, and this is Morgan Hooper.
And another pressure situation for a freshman anchoring on bars for the Huskies. Nice blindfold directly into huge, wow, a huge Ginger. Transitions quickly over to the low bar. Nice cast handstand. Going directly into her dismount. Nice tuck full in, huge stick. Another stuck landing for the Huskies.
You asked for it, you got it so far from NIU in these stick landings as of late.
I wonder if they hear me down there.
Probably not. We'll go back. Again, as we finish up the 6th rotation, again, they don't know what they want for dinner.
Another judges conference.
Just looking at the scores, just joking around. We'll get back at it. Central Michigan's had a couple of pauses here on the floor.
Yeah,
Morgan Tong waited forever.
That's right, and you know that really can slow things down. And certainly slows things down and slows down your momentum moving into each routine. So it's going to be really important for them to just focus in on, knowing what they've been doing day in, day out, just focusing on their training and their practices.
Again, Central Michigan, they're coming down. This is their last rotation here in the MAC Gymnastics Championships. Coming into this rotation, they were right there in the standings first. Again, we'll go back to the beam before we wait. Again, Central Michigan's had to wait a couple times, and on the beam is the Cardinals of Ball State.
Looks like they just had a fall too, unfortunately. So some mistakes here for Ball State on beam. Nice switch leap to split jump connection. And this is Ball State's final event as well, so really going to want to save every 10th they can here. Gearing up for dismount, round off, double tuck, huge dismount. Very impressive, very extremely difficult to do on a beam routine.
Back to the floor, Central Michigan.
Opening pass here. Nice, beautiful double pike, wow. Very clean. Here goes her leap combination, switch ring to switch split half. Nice front full to front layout. Kind of skidded out a little bit. She landed with her shoulders back over her heels, so her feet kind of slid in front of her, but I think she recovered it nicely. Nice fun dance there, getting the crowd going. Last pass here. Double tuck. Oh, a little hop out of it. Little hop out of it. The judges could deduct maybe 2/10, up to 2/10 I would say on that, but overall I think she recovered it really nicely, and I'm really impressed with the way that the CMU is performing with their choreography and engaging in the crowd and the judges.
We'll move over to the beam. And Jordan Penny.
Another fifth-year senior, I believe. She's actually in in her graduate program right now. Nice jump combination there. Nice clean full turn. Handspring, layout, step out. Just a slight balance check. Trying to dance and recover out of that. Switch split half, beautiful, nicely done. Nice dismount, round off 1.5, just a slight hop on the landing. Very clean performance. Way to handle that pressure for Jordan Penny.
Jordan Penny, the anchor, on the beam for Ball State. As we are finishing up rotation number 6 of 7, we'll go back to the floor, and guess who?
And like I was talking about earlier on beam, Central Michigan, they just have an attention to detail that no other team really shows. I feel like that's how they separate themselves from the competition. Nice opening pass, double tuck, just a slight hop on the landing. She really works the floor, working the room, engaging in the crowd. Switch to straddle. Nice leap combination there. Front full to front layout. A little loose in the front layout, but she saves the landing. You keep those legs glued together on your tumbling passes. Final pass. Front punch Rudy to a straddle jump. Nice combination there to end the routine. Great job for Central Michigan.
2 more coming up on the floor for Central Michigan. They've had to wait a little bit here. A couple scores that were being talked about through the judges. So we're going to see 2 more Chippewas. You see the contingent from Mount Pleasant, Michigan, who made the trek. Again, they were the regular season champs overall, the team. Central Michigan, they're trying to go back-to-back in MAC championships. Again, they are finishing up the last 2 gymnasts here on the floor, and that's it for the Chippewas. They will have to watch in that 7th and final rotation to see if anybody can touch them.
Right. Right, and it's, you know, it's a unique situation to be in, and unfortunately it's just the luck of the draw with which events you get to start on and finish. So it's just they've got to do the best that they can with what they have.
Again, everyone else is done with this rotation. Central Michigan, their last 2 gymnasts. Again, a couple former NIU gymnasts. I've seen a couple so far. Again, the whole NIU football team was here. Eastern Michigan's brought a huge contingent of fans here as we get back to the action. And this is Nora Fettinger.
Opening pass, 2.5 to directly connect to a front tuck. Nice landing, nice control there. Into her second pass. 1.5 to a front layout. Oh, good save there. She's had a little bit too much rotation on her full 1.5, so shoulders were way far forward on her punch into her front layout, and she kind of had to wiggle her way out of her flip. Going into her third and final pass. Front 1.5, nicely done.
Nora Fettinger, second to last, and I can tell you as we move now to the final gymnast competing on the floor for Central Michigan will be the junior Donnell Pedrick. And Ashley, all Pedrick needs is a 9.660, and she would be the 2019 MAC all-around champion.
Wow, lots of pressure here. That's an impressive feat to do, and she certainly can accomplish that goal. She anchors for Central Michigan, and it's because of just the way that she performs and the consistency that she has throughout the entire season. And it was the same way last year. I really feel like she's really come into an individual performer here this season, and so it's certainly something that she's capable of accomplishing right here.
We mentioned it in the open. She's elite, right? She's one of the best gymnasts, not just in the MAC, but in the nation. And again, she only needs a 9.6.
Yeah, she comes. She is an former elite gymnast out of Canada, and you can tell the way that she presents herself, the way that she finishes her skills and her dance and all of her movements. I mean, you can really see the presence in her performance, and that elite training comes out for sure. And I really feel like she has kind of upped the expectation throughout the team when it comes to those details, and certainly it shows when she competes.
We'll see how the junior finishes here on the floor.
Here's her opening pass. Triple twist, nice and clean. Maybe a little leg separation on the triple twist, but it's so extremely hard to keep them together, and she does a great job. And her choreography is just a little bit different, a little international flair here. Nice leap combination. Could have had maybe a little bit bigger 180-degree split on her second jump. Going into her second pass. 1.5 to a front layout. Another little loose front layout. Same exact pass that the previous gymnast performed and struggled on. Here goes her final pass. Double pike. Maybe a slight bigger step than normal, but very impressive double pike there. And unique finish to her choreography. even with those mistakes, I think she's going to be fine. But we'll see. I mean, the anticipation, it's going to be interesting.
We'll find out if
Yeah.
Danelle Pedrick is the 2019 MAC all-around champion. As we just finished up rotation number 6, we have one more rotation left. And we'll come back with it. This is the 2019 MAC Gymnastics Championships. And you're going to see here on the vault, Sierra Grisham. She sticks it. 2019 MAC Gymnastics Championships from NIU, DeKalb, Illinois. Andy Garcia alongside former Arizona State gymnast Ashley Feuerbach. And Ashley, some of that action in that 6th rotation. We'll start with Sierra Grisham and what she did. That was a nice performance for her in that 6th rotation. Nice job for Eastern Michigan on the vault.
Yeah, huge performance. You saw there earlier that stuck landing. I mean, it can't get better than that. Fantastic job for Eastern.
Morgan Hooper for NIU on the bars had a nice performance.
Yeah, and they ended it in a big way with that huge full and dismount stuck landing. A lot of pressure for the freshmen. A lot of freshmen all over have had a lot of pressure today, and they've all been handling it pretty well.
And Danelle Pedrick of Central Michigan, we can say she is the 2019 MAC all-around champion. She finished on the floor.
Yeah, and she did, it wasn't her best performance on floor, but she was able to cap it off with the title.
Congratulations to Danelle Pedrick, the 2019 MAC all-around champion. Now, one of the other questions is, can her team win the overall score? Central Michigan is in front with a 195.550. Eastern Michigan, and let me say, Central Michigan is done. They are done with the competition. Eastern Michigan is done. Right now, they're 2nd. Ball State is done. They are 3rd. NIU has one more rotation. It comes down to if NIU can catch Central Michigan to win the team title. Ashley, can they do it?
They are certainly capable of performing it, but it's going to come down to every little detail, every little landing is just performing to their best of their capability, and they certainly are capable of doing so, and they have scored higher than what the score is that they're going to need to take the title. It's just a matter of, can they handle that pressure?
So NIU will be on the beam. Western Michigan will be on the bars. Bowling Green will be on the vault. Kent State will finish on the floor. Central Michigan is in. They're in the clubhouse, so to speak. They are done with their 4 events. They're waiting to see if NIU can catch them for the team championship.
Yeah, and if our calculations are correct, NIU is going to need to come out with a team's beam score of a 48.875 to take that title. And that's not official scoring, but that's kind of what we've come to gather. And they certainly are capable, like I said, but it's really going to come down to, can they handle that pressure?
So we know that Danelle Pedrick is the all-around champ. Still some questions to be answered on the team championship and also on the event scoring as well. But first things first, let's get you ready for the 7th and final rotation. Make sure all the apparatuses are all set. You see NIU gathering around the beam. Again, it comes down to this last and final rotation. You see NIU head coach Sam Orielli. And you see some of the other coaches. And we'll start the 7th rotation with Western Michigan on the bars and Rachel Underwood. Finishing off her career, the senior from Cary, Illinois. Again, Danelle Pedrick is the all-around champ.
Looks like we've got some conferencing over on floor with the judges.
We've seen this a little bit today.
We have, and what can happen is if a coach
which I believe is Eastern Michigan over there.
They could be questioning a score. And so they can inquire on that score. They have to fill out a form, turn it into the judges. The head judges, they have to discuss it.
Yeah.
They have to basically rejudge the routine based on what's on the paper.
And it's a big deal because Central Michigan is a 195.55. Eastern Michigan is a 195.25, so 3/10. So again,
Absolutely.
Eastern Michigan head coach Katie Minnesota right there trying to get the team overall championship. So
Yeah.
she's definitely going to want to do that.
Right, and I don't blame her one bit. The risk, though, that you take when you go to revisit the routines is if a judge sees something like, oh, I probably should have deducted more there.
Yeah.
They could deduct more and change the overall score for the gymnast to make the score even lower. So there is a risk when you do go back and inquire on routines, but sometimes,
But at this point, it's worth it, right?
absolutely three to come up 3/10 it could be possible, but
never
it's
know.
hard to say. You just never know. Maybe they completely miss something that will impact them in a huge way. So good for her to step up and fight for her team.
Again, this is the 7th and final rotation. This is the 2019 MAC Gymnastics Championships here from the Convocation Center on the campus of Northern Illinois University, DeKalb, Illinois. Andy Garcia alongside former Arizona State gymnast Ashley Feuerbach. She knows just a little bit of championships competing out in the Pac-10. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
And also trained some of the gymnasts we've seen today, which is very cool when you start training with gymnasts age 5, 6, and see them to come up to what they are now. And you see those judges over on the floor. It looks like we are going to move on. And we go to Rachel Underwood.
And if you want a starting performer for your team, Rachel is the one. Beautiful cast handstand to start off with, blindfold directly into a Ginger. A little caught a little close and got a little loose on her grab, but beautiful transition to the low bar. And back to the high bar, short cast on the handstand. Blindfold, ooh, she almost went over on that, but she saved it. Nice, beautiful stuck landing there. Great fight for Rachel Underwood.
The senior finishes it off with her performance on the bars. Over to the vault, Bowling Green. This is Katie Morsefield. Comes down to this final rotation, Central Michigan, waiting to find out if they go back to back.
More judges inquiries here.
Yeah.
So we're going to have, we've had quite a bit of this, honestly, in this competition, on this level of stage. I'm surprised that there are as many inquiries or as, discrepancies in judgings. And, but, the judges, what they want to do is they want to get the scores right for the gymnasts. Ultimately, it comes down to the gymnasts and all the work they put into it. And so good for them to try to make sure that they're getting the scores right for the girls. Unfortunately, it affects
We're
their
going to go to NIU, and this is going to be the dismount for Catherine Biddle.
Okay,
over
she
on the
goes
beam.
Side aerial into a layout full dismount. Just a slight hop on her landing. But great job to finish the routine.
Back getting ready for Katie Morsefield.
Looks like the judges have gathered themselves a little bit here. They're getting ready to go. Hopefully she didn't have to wait too much longer. Nothing like being all alone by yourself at the end of the vault runway.
This is her last event, too, as a senior.
Right. See, that's a lot of pressure, and she wants to go out knowing she did the very best that she could.
We're going to go over the beam. Anna Martucci.
Awesome floor performer for NIU, and she carries the the dynamics over onto beam. And as you can see, beautiful switch side to, or switch leap to straddle quarter. Getting ready for her flight series. Handspring, well, step out. Hannah has a slight bent leg on her flight series, but she nails the landing really well. Going right into her full turn. Slight bounce check. She dances out of it. Nice presentation. Front tuck, beautiful landing. Almost textbook front tuck there. Nice switch side, beautiful. 180-degree split. Here for her dismount, front full. Nice stuck landing. As usual, she does stick those landings on beam. Great job. Second beam routine for the Huskies with another hit.
Back to the vault. We'll let you see Katie Mooresfield. We set it up so much. We want to make sure we see the senior go.
That's right. Here she goes. Lay out your take-o full. Nice job. Way to get it going for Bowling Green.
That's Mooresfield again. Central Michigan, they're the leaders right now. NIU trying to catch them on the beam. We're going to go over to the floor. Kent State finishing up.
Here she goes for her second pass. Front layout, front full. Nice jump combination.
This is Nasha Manical Davis.
Getting ready for her dismount, her last pass here. Double tuck. Lands a little low with that chest down. That could be a slight deduction there, but overall, pretty good performance for Kent State.
Nasha Manical Davis finishing up the floor for Kent State. Go back to the vault.
Nice, your take-o full, just didn't quite get the block and the amplitude off the table that she needed, so she had to take that big step forward and to the side a little bit.
That was Taylor Worthington from Bowling Green on the vault. Again, this is our 7th and final rotation, the 2019 MAC Gymnastics Championships. Andy Garcia alongside former Arizona State gymnast Ashley Feuerbach will stay here with the vault in Bowling Green. Central Michigan, they're in the clubhouse. They lead the team overall. NIU can catch them as the Huskies compete on the beam. Right now, the Chippewas, though, in the driver's seat as we continue our coverage with the beam. And Lauren Domino.
Here's her vault. She goes Yurchenko, layout full. Much better job there. Huge block. Nice amplitude off the table. Great job.
Over to the bars.
Nice cast handstand. Start off the routine, toe on to huge Ginger. Wow, she really had some amplitude there off the bar. It's impressive.
This is Morgan Spence.
Getting ready for her dismount. Tuck full in, just a small step on the landing. Overall, great job for the Broncos.
We're gonna go to the beam. And NIU, Allison Richardson.
Switch leap, straddle quarter, solid landing. Really noticing the Huskies are really stepping it up and delivering on all of those details. Every little 10th counts here. Just a small hop on the landing. Great dismount for Allison Richardson.
Again, Huskies trying to get to the top. They'll have to finish it off on that beam. Giovanna East finishing off the vault for the Falcons.
Huge vault from Giovanna. Nice layout, 1.5 Yurchenko. Impressive landing. That starts from a 10-0 start value, and man, she couldn't have landed that better. Maybe just remove the tiny little hop that she had. That was a great performance for her, and I'm really happy that she ended the meet with that vault.
You know, we mentioned Danelle Pedrick. She's the all-around champ for Central Michigan. We also want to mention, we'll see a replay of Giovanna East here from Bowling Green.
I mean, look how fast she's going down the runway, building her amplitude. Nice height off the table. Just a solid landing there for the Falcons. Great job.
We go to bars. You'll see Western Michigan. I do want to mention that Kent State is trying to qualify as a team for the NCAA regionals. They need a 195.125. We'll try to update that for you. Again, Kent State trying to go with Central Michigan to the NCAA regionals. So I want to make sure that we at least try to get you that as well, as you see on the bars.
Nice solid routine for the Broncos.
Over to the beam.
Here's Cindy Lamberti. Nice full turn.
Lamberti second to last for NIU.
Nice textbook front tuck. Again, another one from the Huskies. Solid performance so far. Switch leap, switch half. Oh, big, huge wobble there. Almost came off the beam, but she fought for it. It'll be interesting to see how this continues on here for the Huskies. Back handspring, layout, step out. Just a step there, but she's dancing out of it, so she's trying to show that that was her intention. Just a big dismount here. Round off double full, slight hop on the landing. Not as clean. She didn't quite finish the routine as clean as she would hope that it would be. And so it's going to really come down to how they can finish off here in the anchor position.
It's going to come down to the last, Jim.
It truly will be.
It's that close
It is.
for the team score as NIU tries to catch Central Michigan to win the overall team championship. We're going to go over to the floor for Kent State. This is Jade Brown. Again, I mentioned Kent State needs a 195.125 overall to advance to the NCAA regionals to be there with Central Michigan.
Here she goes for her final pass. Huge double tuck. Wow. Really impressive there. With the endurance at the end of the routine, she really landed in a great pass there.
Go back to the beam. And Mia Lord will finish it off for NIU.
Talk about pressure.
A strong score here might just win you the MAC championship.
That's right, and she knows it. She's been anchoring for the Huskies all season long, and I know that she's fully capable of going there. It's just about whether or not it can happen right now. Front aerial directly connected to a back handspring. Layout, step out, solid landing. Full turn without deduction. You can see her, she's being a little hesitant in her dance. I can see the nerves coming up a little bit. Nice split jump to split, double stag ring jump. All she has left is a dismount. Round off, double full, and a stuck landing. I think that clinched it.
Did Mia Lord just win the MAC championship for NIU?
I think she just got it done.
We'll find out as Mia Lord finishes off the championships for NIU. The sophomore stepping up on the beam. And you see the NIU team, do they have enough to get their first MAC championship.
That was impressive. Wow, way to step up for the Huskies and deliver a performance like that, especially knowing that they had to end on beam. Like, beam is the most nerve-wracking event that you're going to have to mentally just hang on for, and to deliver a performance like that, that was truly amazing.
Again, Central Michigan was finished. They had to watch the 7th and final rotation. NIU has just finished theirs on the beam. And we can tell you in just a couple minutes who's going to be the team champions. Over to the floor in Kent State.
Nice jump combination there.
And we can tell you, and we'll give you the official after this from the floor.
Going into her last pass. Double tuck. Nice performance there to finish off for Kent State.
Ladies and gentlemen, the scores are in, and congratulations to Northern Illinois University. They're the 2019 MAC Gymnastic Champions. Their first ever championship in gymnastics as a program here at NIU, and congratulations as they are the team champs of 2019.
Wow, what a performance. And, you know, to go in and starting off the competition on a bye. First, you're starting on a bye, so you don't get to do anything while everyone else is. And then the first event that they even touch is floor, and that's generally the event that you really want to end things on to build momentum towards. And with floor being their best event for the Huskies and their best event overall in the MAC as far as floor goes, you know, I think it really started things off for them well. And what a tremendous performance that the Huskies delivered on. That was fantastic.
Congratulations to NIU head coach Sam Moriali. His 8th as a head coach, his 17th overall coaching here at NIU, and the Huskies are the 2019 MAC Gymnastics Champions. Congratulations. And you see Central Michigan. Central Michigan will finish second. They could not go back-to-back. They were the regular season champs, but it's NIU. They're the MAC champs. You see some of the other teams. Strong performances by everyone. It was really, really high-level gymnastics here. As you see the Huskies celebrating the team championship. You've been around this team a little bit. You've done the broadcast this year. You've seen them practice. You've seen them go through the hard work. Just give us a little bit of a taste of what that team's feeling right now.
Absolutely. You know, it's been a long journey for them. And to start off, you know, the coaches poll, they expected the Huskies to be the MAC champions, and they just couldn't quite put everything together when it mattered. There was always something that was just a little bit off on each competition, and to be able to cap their season off right here with this solid performance, they could not have performed any better on every single event. They did a phenomenal job, and this was their goal. The goal was to become MAC champions on their floor here, hosting it in front of their home crowd, in front of their friends and families and all of the student athletes that came out to support here. What a way to go out with their season. And I know they wanted to also qualify to regionals. It didn't quite happen for them this season, but this couldn't have gotten any better for them today. So fantastic job for the Huskies. I know that they've got to be so thrilled, and
they're the queens of the MAC.
what a job, yeah.
Plain and simple, the NIU Huskies, the 2019 MAC Gymnastics Champions. As we take a timeout, NIU has done it here at the Convocation Center. They finish off with Mia Lord, sticking it, as the Huskies are the champions here in the MAC. We'll come back. MAC Gymnastics on ESPN. Here at NIU on the campus of Northern Illinois University, DeKalb, Illinois. The Huskies are the 2019 MAC Gymnastics Champions. The team overall score I do want to mention, we talked about how Kent State was trying to advance to the NCAA regionals. They just came up a little bit short. So it will be Central Michigan out of the MAC that will be moving on to the NCAA regionals. But today is NIU's day, as they are the MAC champions. As we mentioned, Ashley, off mic, we'll talk about it now. That's probably one of the best beam scores as a team that NIU has had all year.
Absolutely, and like we said, they stepped up and delivered, and what a way to end their season. They're as a team, their season is over, but there is more competition for regionals and nationals for individual specialists. There are opportunities there, so that's exciting. But what a way to end with your team, and fantastic job for the Huskies.
First championship in gymnastics, that NIU program. Congratulations. As we take a look at the highlights from that 7th and final rotation, we'll start with Nina Martucci for NIU, who had a nice performance there. Check that, Anna Martucci.
Nice front layout, full dismount for the stuck landing, really building momentum for the rest of the lineup. Fantastic job. Again, floor specialist, and here she is just really nailing it down on beam as well.
Yeah, it was a nice performance from Anna Martucci. Here's Giovanna East on the vault.
Such an impressive vault. I mean,
she looked good today too.
Yes, the height, the amplitude she gets off the table, just really impressive performance for Giovanna East, and I know she had a fantastic day today overall.
And for NIU, Mia Lord finishes it off for the Huskies on the beam that got them the MAC championship.
Yeah, and I'm not sure whether or not they really needed this ending score, but it sure does help to have an anchor in Mia Lord. She certainly delivered when she needed to, and fantastic job for the sophomore.
9.9 as NIU gets the team championship. As we take a look at the final scores from the individual all around here today, and it's Danelle Pedrick. She is your all-around champion. Rachel Underwood, 2nd. Giovanna East, 3rd. We've not seen the end of Giovanna East. She's a junior. Danelle Pedrick is also coming back too. That's a little bit scary, the junior. And Rachel Underwood from Western Michigan, she is the senior. So we've seen the last of Rachel Underwood, but not the last of Pedrick and East. And congratulations to Danelle Pedrick again from Central Michigan, the all-around champion.
Yeah, and it was certainly a close competition between those three for sure.
And we thought those would kind of be the top 3 that would be going for that, and it was. So we know that NIU Huskies are the team champs. We know Pedrick is the individual champ. And again, probably won't know all the events and all that why we come off, but congratulations to all 7 teams. A really high performance, good quality gymnastics here today.
Absolutely, and I know going in now that those individuals are going to be moving on and having their focus into NCAA regional and national play, so it'll be exciting to see how they progress moving forward.
Again, huge crowd here at the Convocation Center. Saw fantastic performances. It came down to the final events, right? It came down to Central Michigan finishing off. They had to watch that 7th rotation, and it's NIU that gets the win. They finished on the beam. They had to have a big number. They got it, and the NIU Huskies are the MAC champions here at the Convocation Center in DeKalb. Again, all 7 teams work hard to get to this point, and it's NIU that wins the team championship. Andy Garcia alongside Ashley Feuerbach, former Arizona gymnast, and we were impressed. And it came right down to the end, and we saw NIU on the beam get the numbers they needed, and it's their first championship as a program.
Right, and what's really most impressive with that fact alone is that they actually had their highest team score on beam of the season. So to be able to handle that pressure and to be able to go into your final rotation knowing that what the pressure is at stake and being able to perform at that level, wow, it was really impressive to watch and exciting for the Huskies.
And we'll see in the individuals, see who gets qualified for NCAA regionals. We'll find out, and you'll see some of those scores on GetSomeAction.com. You'll see some of those scores, but a good performance from Danelle Pedrick, too, winning the all-around, and NIU winning the team. Really fun. 2019's been fun for the MAC gymnastics season. It's been fun working with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Congratulations, NIU. You're the MAC champions here of the 2019 MAC Gymnastics season. Thank everybody behind the scenes here, behind the crews, NIU Media Services, and Pat Gorman and Eric Hansen. Everybody behind the scenes, thank you very much, the women and men who do a lot of the work. They make us look good, and they did a great job today here as we tried to give you as much of the action as we could here at the Convocation Center. It ends up as the NIU Huskies, the 2019 MAC Gymnastics champions. We'll wrap things up, and that's it here from DeKalb, Illinois, the Convocation Center here on the campus of Northern Illinois University. So for Ashley Feuerbach, I'm Andy Garcia saying so long from the NIU Convocation Center. The Huskies are the 2019 MAC Gymnastics champions. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. Thanks everybody for watching. This has been a presentation of ESPN.